Ben Aris, who's the editor-in-chief at BNE IntelliNews. He joins us now from Berlin. Good to have you back with us, Ben. Can I ask you about the disturbing allegations against Russia that its forces are effectively kidnapping Ukrainian children to Russia, where they could potentially be adopted into Russian families? How credible are those claims?
They are credible, in so much as the UN is saying that something between 900,000 and 1.6 million Ukrainians have been forcibly moved to Russia, including about 250,000 children. A lot of them are orphans. But where the confusion is that there are already 3 million Ukrainians living in Russia. And indeed, during the war, at the beginning of the war in 2014, in Donbass, when the fighting started, about 1 million people moved from Ukraine to Russia because they have family there. And moreover, they don't need visas, they don't need work permits. There's a lot of work in Russia. And that process is going on today, that there are some refugees who are choosing not to go to Poland or Western Europe, but choose to go to Russia, where they have families, so getting set up is easy. So the actual number, because the Russians themselves are claiming like a lot of these Ukrainians arriving in Russia are actually arriving there voluntarily. So there's a question mark over what the number is, but what is undisputed is that Russia is running these filtration camps, that it is forcibly detaining people, that people in the filtration camps go through a political screening process. Some of them are tortured, some of them are summarily executed, and that the children have been sent to Altai Krai, which is in Western Siberia. It's one of the poorest regions in all of Russia. And they're not being sent to St. Petersburg or Moscow, you know, the rich cities, where they could be easily integrated. So it is a thing, it is a problem, and actually it is a war crime to forcibly relocate people. The scale of it is significant, but exactly how many people are being moved is unclear to us.
Yes, can I ask you more about those so-called filtration camps? Because this perhaps is the first time that it's sort of hit the main headlines after that top UN human rights official briefed the UN Security Council about those camps. Can you just tell us more about what they are, where they are, if we know that as a fact, and what happens in those camps?
There's some in Donbass, and it's for civilians who are captured in various fields, Mariupol, in the Donbass itself, in the villages and towns that Russia's been taking. And they're taken there, and there's been credible reports of these filtration camps operating for months. And we've had reports and testament from soldiers who've been captured, been through a filtration camp. In one case, man was his boots were made wet, and he was left outside, and he got frostbite and ended up losing both his feet. However, from Russia, he managed to make his way back to Ukraine and testified. So they're a political process. I mean, it's part of Russia's strategy has always been to mix up the populations. They've been handing out Russian passports to the residents of Donbass. They've been forcing people to take them. They've expedited the process of getting Russian citizenship. And actually, a fair number of Ukrainians have been taking this option to the point where the Rada, the Ukrainian parliament, has passed a law imposing 15-year prison sentences for anyone who takes Russian passport as part of this process. And it all goes back to the legacy of the fact that Russia and Ukraine have been brothers for the longest time, that the populations are mixed. And so the attitude of the people is mixed. However, those who are definitively and demonstrably against Russia end up in a filtration camp where they are tortured, punished, and even killed as part of this process.
Okay, Ben Aris, we will have to leave it there, but we really appreciate your analysis as always. Thank you.